My interest in the rainforest Indians began in my duration in the Peace Corps in 1967, where we lived with the Indians and with the pioneers that were getting into that area at that time, and had to hunt to eat, and got very close to the people, worked with them in the harvests and so on and so forth. At the time there was a Darianista. This is a group of people that live in the Darien rainforest who come from escaped slaves. There's descendants of slaves that went across the isthmus in 1949 for the gold rush. They escaped the boats, ran for the jungle, and established these hidden towns. His name was José de Jesus Alvarado, and his name had a nickname, Pajaro. And he just loved boats, and he built boats from a little boy, just as I did. And he built sailboats, and he built speedboats and model boats and all kinds of things as a little boy. And I encountered him on the beach with an axe, cutting up the material for the ribs of a fishing boat he was building. Now, from there I found that he had built one of the most famous boats in the rainforest, called the Encanto. It was a boat that was very famous. Its ribs were made of ironwood. Its decking and its planking were made from something called pino amarillo, which is an unusual wood in the rainforest, which doesn't get eaten by the marine borers. And I've never seen a piece rot, ever. So it's an amazing wood. And the ironwood is a tremendous holding power. So they use that for the ribs, and they drive spikes through the planking into the ironwood through the pino amarillo. And it makes a tremendously strong boat. And the Encanto was enormously famous and legendary because it was supposed to be stronger than stone. And it was said that that Encanto used to break stones at the entranceway into the Tuira River, which was where the boat entered the jungle. These boats would go up the rivers and get plantains and come down right loaded so heavily that you just saw the gunnel just above the water and just heaped high with these green plantains. Really wonderful, amazing time. And he was very well known and famous, and we started talking about the possibility of building a sailboat, a beautiful sailboat, together. So I left the Peace Corps eventually after my 2.5 year stint, went back up and started a business in computer technology, and which was successful. And 5 years later I showed up at this guy's doorstep to build the first Pajaro Jai, which is the name of the boat we ended up building together. And this boat was built with all the best materials out of the rainforest. The same materials he used for this big, heavy banana boat was what this Encanto was, and ironwood ribs. But the difference was that we were using more modern hull design. In the Darien, they believe that it's the ironwood that gives the boat its strength, and certainly it does to some degree. But the real strength of the boat lies in its design. Much like an egg, the shape of an egg is strong because of its shape, not because the shell is strong, but because of the shape. Well, the same is true of boats. So my contribution was to try to help him understand how we could make a powerful, strong hull just by shape alone. And we built this first boat and called the Pajaro Jai. We had an enormous jungle-wide contest with the Indians and everybody joining in to give the boat a name. And the prize was extravagant by their standards. And then we launched the boat to this huge crowd. We had the boat blessed, and all this great ceremony over the thing. And then that boat became well known because the Nature Conservancy and other environmental groups latched onto it when they saw this boat had come from the rainforest and was using materials of the rainforest. And we used it for many years to support events all over the world, but principally on the east coast of the United States, with different groups. And the idea was to invite some of the movers and shakers in industry, commerce in the world, and try to influence them to donate their money to some of these causes for the environment, principally. And so our focus was principally on the environment for those years. In 1990, the boat hit a reef after it had done an event in Jamaica, and I'll just quickly describe the event because it's